Hi everyone, welcome to the post-debate analysis for round 3, and my name is Agnes. I will run through this post-debate analysis with you. So, the motion in this round reads, this House support a global ban on TikTok unless they comply with the United States' demand to co-manage user data. There are three areas of questions that we think is important in this debate and can be developed into an argument or arguments. Number one, whether or not TikTok harms the global community. Second, whether or not TikTok will comply with the proposal. Third, whether or not co-management will make TikTok better. So, the first question, whether or not TikTok harms the global community. In government bench, we expect or we think the arguments that can be brought by the government is like other technological platforms such as Facebook and Instagram, TikTok also acquire a lot of users' data. The thing is, and what makes TikTok different than other kind of platforms, and this is a exclusive harm that government should explain, is TikTok is owned by China, a Chinese company, which is ByteDance, which most likely than not is strongly influenced by the Chinese government. We can see a lot of the behavior coming from TikTok and Chinese government in censorship. They also have a lot of restrictions, especially in issues that have negative nuance to China. For example, the Uyghur case, how they have discrimination, and as well, there are a lot of ban and blocks in a lot of criticism to the Chinese government. In Weibo or even in any platforms in Chinese government that China has, most often than not, a lot of people that criticize their government will end up missing. So the Chinese government usually take this person away, and we don't know any more information about this person. So from the points above, there are two indications. Number one, China has strong interest to control information. The second, the reason why then TikTok plays part is because China can do it through TikTok, because China have a lot of control over TikTok, and from the likelihood and indication, it shows that TikTok will most likely do this. The harms are their distraction. It means a lot of information that should be delivered to society, for example, nuance and criticism that matters to the people regarding how Chinese government behave, well, will no longer be there, because right now you can just use TikTok to distract the people. And then there's also disinformation. So, for example, the information about Uyghur can be faked by the Chinese government through TikTok, and they can send the disinformation through TikTok as one of the platform. But as well, Chinese government can also use TikTok as a form of propaganda. And this is easier because the people who use TikTok, which is very important for you to analyze, are mostly people who do not have any broad knowledge about the world or what is happening. They're probably individuals who just want to have fun, so they are less likely to read news and so on and so forth. So for them to be influenced by TikTok is very easy. For the opposition, we think why opposition can argue that TikTok is not harmful is because opposition can concede probably that censors and restrictions to some issues that are attacking the Chinese government happen. However, some of them could still pass. For example, there are a lot of videos and also a lot of viral content in which a lot of influencers slip all of this information about Uyghur, interment cam, in the middle of their video. For example, in the middle of makeup review, and then they just insert the information about Uyghur and what's happening right now in that cam. So it's still possible for us to get information about this and specific issue through TikTok, because right now people are just becoming more innovative. But to back up the first point, it's also important to show that there are a lot of substitutes that exist. For example, people can not only get information from TikTok, but they can also watch BBC, New York Times, and also read news from Fox. And unlike what government mentioned, for example, if government mentioned that a lot of people are just bored, so they use TikTok, most of people are just using TikTok as a side media, but does not necessarily mean that they don't read other news at all. So it is still possible for people to read news, especially when it is very important. So a lot of people are talking about it. So it's less likely that you don't know about the issue at all. So it's not exclusive, and you can still say that people still can understand the information. So it's not very harmful. But as well, you can also argue that people right now are more conscious than ever about data privacy, especially if government bring about data privacy, how Chinese is going to have your data and whatnot. When people are getting more conscious these days, it means they're more careful not to share private information. or they're more careful to not internalize a set of information, for example, like religion or political, through social media, including TikTok. It means that when they are in TikTok, they will not think TikTok as something that's very influential. So they are not going to be very, if Chinese government do propagate a lot of things, that it means they have their personal and individual filter to keep that information away. That's for the first question. To the second question, whether or not TikTok will comply with the proposal. Because the motion reads as this House supports, so we think that a discussion on whether or not TikTok will comply, whether or not China will comply, is necessary, or it is possible to happen, and it can be a huge argument. In the government, government can argue that global ban is likely to happen because many countries feel that the threat of TikTok is true and the threat of TikTok is important. That is also the reason why a lot of countries are currently already banning TikTok, for example, United States and also India. And more countries are in the discussion that they're going to ban TikTok. It means that a lot of countries are in the same concession that TikTok is harmful for their privacy, for their citizen, and so on and so forth. So it means there are a lot of likelihood in which you can say the ban is possible. A global ban, the reason why China will most likely comply, or TikTok will also comply with this, is because when TikTok has already been a huge and significant part of the Chinese economy, it means that when a global ban happens, a lot of Chinese income is being taken away. So China will most likely comply to the proposal because China has the interest to get their economy back to TikTok. So, and as well, China can also still run TikTok by co-managing with the United States. So all of the benefit, for example, advertisement, business account from TikTok will not be missing if China do comply with the United States. So it means there are a lot of interest and there are a lot of structural reasonings to back this up. In the opposition, in the other hand, global ban is unlikely because TikTok has become important part for the state economy as well. For example, a lot of influencers, for example, or even SM Entertainment, a huge entertainment that are very influential in Korea, run their business through TikTok. TikTok has also employed a significant number of employees. For example, you can say Indonesia, they have their own company. And globally, ByteDance has also employed 60,000 people. So when it has become very significant to the particular country or a lot of countries in the world globally, it means less likely the countries are going to be to ban TikTok fully because they are also dependent to TikTok and how TikTok runs today. So as well, in the second point, we mentioned just like other bans on online platform, for example, Netflix and Tumblr Indonesia, people still can access all of these platforms anyway, even if the presence of ban, by using VPN or other kind of media to get through it. So all of the ban that government is proposing is not going to be useful at all. Indeed, the country are too dependent, so they're not going to, TikTok and China will not going to comply to this policy. Going to the third discussion, which is whether or not co-management will make TikTok better. So in the government, government can argue that United States is a better actor in handling data privacy issue because of several things. Number one, data privacy law has been established in the United States system and imposed to company, and it does work well today. For example, you see Twitter, Facebook, Google, especially when it's been updated. So what you can see through your application like Twitter or Facebook, usually data privacy will come in the first place, and it is made very simple because right now people are also very conscious about this. So you're taking this very seriously. The second likelihood why the handling of data is also going to be better in the United States is exactly because Cambridge Analytica harms the United States very badly in 2016. The scandal has made people more concerned than ever. It is brought to the parliament, debate, everywhere. Mark Zuckerberg is being called out, and so on. So there are a lot of reformation that is currently happening. And thirdly, competition on making the safest platforms is also happening in the United States system, for example. That is the reason why Twitter, Facebook, Google are competing one another to show to the society that we are the safest. So what happened when TikTok joined with the United States? Most likely TikTok will also be influenced to compete in terms of privacy and how they can show that we are also safe. This is the benefit that the government can claim in their side of the house. In the opposition side, in the other hand, you can argue that the United States government has also interest to shape narrative, propaganda, create distraction, and disinformation. Because if government playing the premise that China is doing all of the propaganda because they are discriminative, they discriminate one or other minority groups, United States is also doing that, but with Black community, with Muslims, and also with immigrants. So there are a lot of issues as well that United States try to drive in the government, especially under Trump administration. So it means if it's true that the government is that bad, United States government can also be that bad. So there is no betterment if you co-manage it with the United States. But second, the likelihood is because United States has done this during the post 9/11 attack. That is the reason why United States can deploy a lot of their armies to the Middle Eastern countries, because United States is capable in driving the narrative from society, they're capable in driving the media, and they're capable in influencing people. So all of the harms that government try to argue can also exist in their side of the house, but it's even worse because the scale is even bigger and you cannot mitigate it anymore because right now all of the superpowers have the control over TikTok. So we think that is what can be brought in the debate. Obviously, this is not everything. There is a lot more to explore, but we think those are the three questions that um, can be brought as a basic in the debate. Thank you very much.